Ignored by most seniors. 5. Bedtime habit you must avoid. After 70, a healthy day begins the night before, but what if your bedtime routine is slowly harming you without you knowing? He smiled, said goodnight, and went to bed like always. No complaints, no signs of illness, but he never woke up. For those over 70, what you do in the final hours of your day could be the difference between life and death. Just 2 nights ago, a 69-year-old man named Richard Ellis went to bed after a peaceful dinner with his grandchildren. He was healthy, active, and full of life. But the next morning, his wife found him still lying in bed, unmoving, unresponsive. Richard had passed away in his sleep. The shock hit his family like a wave. There were no major health warnings, no signs that something was wrong. So what happened? The truth may surprise you. While Richard had no chronic illness, he did have a few bedtime habits that, while seemingly harmless, quietly increased his health risks. And he's not alone. After the age of 70, our bodies become more sensitive to what we eat, how we sleep, and even how warm our bedrooms are. What used to be normal in our 40s and 50s can become dangerous if we're not aware. In this video, we'll uncover 4 common bedtime habits that might seem innocent, but could silently increase the risk of heart attacks, strokes, or even sudden death during sleep. More importantly, you'll learn safer alternatives, simple tweaks to your routine that can help you sleep deeper, wake up refreshed, and protect your health as you age. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. The power to improve your nights and your life starts with what you know. Let's begin with the first and most common mistake: eating heavy meals too close to bedtime. Worrying or negative thinking. Before bedtime, as people age, especially those over 70, evenings often become a quiet time of reflection. But for many, this reflection turns into rumination, dwelling on past regrets, health concerns, family issues, loneliness, or fears about the future. While this may seem emotionally natural, it is medically dangerous. Going to bed with a heavy heart and a racing mind is like feeding stress to your brain and body just when it needs rest the most. Studies have shown that stress and worry before bedtime elevate cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. Cortisol disrupts the natural release of melatonin, which is essential for initiating deep, restorative sleep. Elevated stress levels also cause the heart to beat faster and blood pressure to rise slightly, which for older adults with underlying heart conditions can increase the risk of early morning heart attacks, strokes, or arrhythmias. Furthermore, chronic nighttime anxiety is associated with impaired memory, nighttime confusion, increased risk of dementia, and worsening of conditions like essential tremor or Parkinson's disease. Sleep is not just rest. It's when the brain heals, the heart slows down, and the immune system resets. When seniors carry unresolved emotions into the night, their nervous system stays on alert mode, leading to fragmented sleep, frequent awakenings, and fatigue the next day. Over time, this creates a harmful cycle of insomnia, emotional instability, and deteriorating health. What can help? Start a simple evening gratitude journal, writing down 3 positive things from the day. Practice guided breathing or light meditation before bed. Even 5-10 minutes of slow breathing can lower heart rate and calm the nervous system. For those with faith, prayer, chanting, or reading spiritual texts can bring peace and clarity. Families should also engage with elderly loved ones in calming, evening conversations, not about bills or problems, but about joy, memories, and encouragement. Habit 2. Eating heavy meals too close to bedtime. Imagine enjoying a hearty dinner at 8:30 p.m. Beef stew, mashed potatoes, maybe a glass of wine. It feels satisfying. You settle into the couch, watch a little TV, and then head straight to bed by 9:30. It seems like a perfectly normal evening, right? But for someone in their 70s, like Elaine Walker, a 72-year-old retired librarian from Denver, this routine became a hidden health hazard. Elaine began experiencing shortness of breath and occasional heartburn at night. She thought it was just part of aging. But after waking up one night gasping for air, she decided to see a doctor. The culprit? Her late-night meals. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down. Our digestive system doesn't break down food as quickly, and lying down too soon after eating puts pressure on the stomach. This can cause acid reflux, indigestion, and in severe cases, aspiration, where stomach contents travel into the lungs. More critically, a full stomach can elevate heart rate and blood pressure when the body should be resting. Instead of entering deep, healing sleep, the body stays alert, processing food, pumping blood, and working overtime. Studies have shown that late-night eating can also spike blood sugar levels, especially in people with prediabetes or insulin resistance. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology found that older adults who ate dinner later than 8 p.m. had higher nighttime blood sugar and more fragmented sleep. So what should you do instead? Experts recommend finishing your last full meal at least 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. That gives your stomach time to process food and settle. If you must have something later, keep it light. A handful of almonds, a piece of banana, or chamomile tea. Elaine followed this advice. She moved dinner to 6 p.m. and switched her bedtime snack to a small slice of apple with peanut butter. Within a week, her sleep improved, the shortness of breath disappeared, and her mornings felt energized again. This change didn't cost her money or require medication, just awareness and the willingness to try something new. Coming up in the next part. A bedtime habit most seniors consider healthy, but might actually be increasing your risk of falls and sleep disturbances every single night. Habit 3. Drinking too much liquid before bed. We've all heard the advice, stay hydrated, and it's good advice during the day. But what if drinking too much before bed is quietly wrecking your sleep and even putting your safety at risk? That's exactly what happened to Martin Hale, a 72-year-old retired engineer from Ohio. Martin believed in drinking plenty of water to flush toxins and keep his joints healthy. But over time, he noticed a pattern. He was waking up 2 or 3 times every night with the urge to urinate. It didn't seem like a big deal until the night he stood up too quickly in the dark and fell. He hit the edge of his nightstand, fractured his collarbone, and spent weeks recovering, all because of a habit he thought was helping him. Here's why this happens. As we get older, the bladder becomes more sensitive and less elastic. The kidneys also don't concentrate urine as efficiently, and the muscles responsible for holding urine weaken. Even small amounts of fluid can trigger the need to go, especially at night. This condition is known as nocturia, and it affects nearly 70% of adults over the age of 70. But beyond the sleep disruption, the real danger lies in what happens after midday. You wake up. When you rise too quickly from a lying position, especially in the dark, your blood pressure can drop sharply, a phenomenon known as orthostatic hypertension. This sudden drop can cause dizziness, imbalance, or even fainting, and it's one of the leading causes of falls among seniors at night. Martin's fall wasn't a freak accident. It was the result of a predictable chain of events: too much fluid, frequent urination, sleep disruption, nighttime mobility, unexpected injury, and the consequences of broken bones or head. Trauma after 70 can be severe: long recovery times, increased risk of infections, and even permanent mobility loss. So what can you do? First, front-load your hydration. Drink most of your water before 5 or 6 p.m. After dinner, taper off. If you feel thirsty later in the evening, take small sips rather than a full glass. Second, limit caffeine and alcohol. In the afternoon and evening, both are diuretics. They increase urine production and stimulate the bladder. Even herbal teas marketed as bedtime blends may contain ingredients that irritate the urinary tract. And don't forget hidden liquids. Fruits like watermelon, soups, broths, or even medications with high water content can contribute to fluid overload. Finally, create a safe path to the bathroom. Trio. Install night lights, remove clutter, and consider a motion-activated light if needed. Martin did just that after his fall. Along with adjusting his evening drinking habits, he now sleeps more soundly and wakes up far less often. Hydration is important, yes, but timing and awareness are everything. What works during the day may not serve you at night. In the next part, we'll discuss a bedtime habit that feels comforting, but can disrupt your body's core temperature, strain your heart, and leave you feeling drained by morning. Habit 4. Sleeping in a room that's too warm. After a long day, crawling into a warm bed in a cozy room sounds like the perfect way to relax, right? But for seniors, especially those over 70, sleeping in a room that's too warm can quietly disrupt sleep and increase health risks overnight. Let's take the example of Barbara Nguyen, a 75-year-old retired piano teacher from California. For years, Barbara kept her bedroom temperature at a balmy 76 degrees C and slept under thick fleece blankets, even in spring. She believed staying warm would help her joints and prevent nighttime chills. But over time, Barbara began waking up groggy, drenched in sweat, and feeling unusually fatigued in the mornings. She also noticed her heart would sometimes race during the night, leaving her breathless and anxious. A sleep study revealed that her body was overheating and her heart was working overtime to compensate. Why is this dangerous? As we age, our bodies lose the ability to regulate internal temperature as efficiently. We sweat less, and our blood vessels don't expand or contract as quickly. This means it's easier for body temperature to rise too high during sleep, especially in a warm room. Elevated nighttime body temperature can lead to dehydration, thicker blood, and increased risk of blood clots. For those with pre-existing heart conditions, it can raise the chance of a heart attack or stroke. And it's not just about the physical risks. Sleeping too warm can also fragment sleep, preventing the deep rest your brain and body need to restore. Barbara's case isn't unique. A 2018 study published in Sleep Health Journal found that seniors sleeping in rooms above 72 degrees F reported poorer sleep quality and lower morning alertness. The ideal sleeping temperature, researchers concluded, is between 60 degrees F and 67 degrees F, 19 degrees C. So what can you do? First, turn down the thermostat at least an hour before bed. If that feels too chilly, layer light, breathable blankets instead of one heavy quilt. Natural materials like cotton or bamboo are excellent for temperature control. Second, wear loose, moisture-wicking pajamas that allow your skin to breathe. Avoid synthetic fabrics that trap heat. Third, use a fan or open a window slightly to improve air circulation. The goal isn't to feel cold, but to let your body naturally cool as it prepares for deep sleep. And finally, listen to your body. If you're waking up sweaty, restless, or more tired than you were the night before, temperature might be the hidden culprit. After Barbara made small changes, switching to a lighter blanket, adjusting her thermostat to 65 degrees F, and wearing cotton sleepwear, her sleep improved dramatically. She woke up clearer, calmer, and more refreshed. She even said her afternoon naps became unnecessary. A simple shift in your sleeping environment can lead to better nights and brighter days. In the next part, we'll look at something even more personal, your sleeping position, and why the way you lie in bed may be silently affecting your breathing, heart, and brain health. Habit 5. Sleeping in the wrong position. Most of us don't give much thought to how we position our bodies while we sleep. We lie down, roll into our usual pose, and drift off. But for seniors, especially those in their 70s and beyond, sleep posture can significantly affect health, sometimes in life-threatening ways. Take the case of Walter Kim, a 74-year-old former mechanic from Minnesota. Walter had always slept on his back. It helped his shoulders feel relaxed. But over time, his wife noticed something disturbing. He would occasionally stop breathing for a few seconds at night, then gasp sharply before settling again. Concerned, she recorded it on her phone and showed it to his doctor. Walter was diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea, a condition where the airway gets blocked during sleep, often due to sleeping flat on the back. In older adults, muscles in the throat relax more than they used to. Combined with gravity, this leads to the tongue falling back and narrowing the airway, disrupting breathing. Sleep apnea isn't just about snoring. It raises the risk of high blood pressure, heart failure, stroke, and even sudden cardiac arrest. Worse, many seniors never know they have it until serious symptoms appear, like morning headaches, daytime fatigue, or memory trouble. But sleeping on your back isn't the only concern. Sleeping on the right side can also place subtle pressure on the heart, reducing circulation efficiency. For seniors with cardiovascular issues, this can contribute to fluid retention in the lungs or legs, known as congestive heart failure. So, what's the ideal sleeping position? Experts widely recommend sleeping on the left side. It reduces acid reflux, promotes better digestion, and allows the heart to pump blood more effectively through the body. For those prone to nighttime indigestion or high blood pressure, this small change can have big benefits. If staying in that position is difficult, try using a body pillow behind your back to keep from rolling over. You can also place a pillow between your knees to keep your hips and spine aligned, reducing pressure on your lower back and joints. Walter made the change. It wasn't easy at first, but after switching to side sleeping with support pillows, his breathing stabilized. His sleep quality improved and he no longer woke up feeling drained or dizzy. Sleep is when the body repairs, but it can only heal when it's properly supported, from the outside and within. Now that we've explored these 4 bedtime habits, eating too late, drinking too much fluid, sleeping too warm, and sleeping in the wrong position, you might be wondering, how many of these am I doing? The good news? These risks are not set in stone. You have the power to adjust, to shift your habits gently but intentionally. Start with just one. Maybe it's moving dinner earlier by an hour, or turning your thermostat down a couple of degrees. Maybe it's replacing a heavy comforter with breathable layers, or switching your sleeping position using a body pillow. Each change is simple, none of them cost much, but together they create a protective shield, helping your heart rest. Easier, your brain stays sharper and your body feels lighter. Think about where you were 30 years ago, how different your lifestyle was. Your body has evolved since then, so must your habits. Tonight, before you go to bed, reflect on what you've learned. Try one adjustment. Observe how your body feels in the morning. If it feels even 10% better, that's your proof. A long life doesn't come from big heroic actions. It comes from small, consistent choices. Choices that let you wake up each morning feeling restored, safe, and alive. You've made it this far. You've earned restful, powerful sleep. Let it begin tonight. What if a good night's sleep could help your loved ones live longer, healthier, and happier lives? If you found the tips in this video helpful, don't hesitate to like the video. It motivates me to keep sharing more. Share it with your friends and family, especially those caring for their elderly loved ones. Comment below with your questions, thoughts, or concerns. I read and value every single one. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss upcoming videos, where I'll continue to walk with you on the journey of senior healthcare with compassion, clarity, and science-based advice. One click from you can bring a big change to an entire family.